Good afternoon, viewers and listeners of Concerned Citizens Media. Thank you again for joining me January 7, 2022. So I have, you might already heard about this breaking news. The Ethiopian government releasing some political prisoners. So this is a big news now. Even Keros and the Karres are celebrating and waiting at the in darkness for the release of especially Jawar Mohammed Bekele Garba. So jumping, showing happiness and attempting to welcome them, but that for some reason it didn't happen. It didn't happen at the time. But the release is confirmed. Bekele Garba's son, Samuel Bekele, tweeted about it, and he confirmed receiving his dad and Johar Mohammed. So this is a big news. Let's read. Ethiopia Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed ordered the release of the following political prisoners. From Oromo Federalist Congress Party, 1. Johar Mohammed, 2. Bekele Garba, 3. Dejene Tafa, and all others included under Johar Mohammed's court filing are released. From the Tigray People's Liberation Front, the following individuals are released. Mr. Abbay Waldu, former president of Tigray region. Mr. Sibhat Nega, founder of Tigray People's Liberation Front. Kudusan Nega, probably this is his sister, the sister of Sibhat Nega. I'm not sure, but the name looks like that. Kudusan Nega. Mr. Abdi Zammu, Mulu Gebre እግዚአብሔር, and Mr. Kiros Hagos are released from TPLF. From Balderas for Genuine Democracy Opposition Party, 1. Mr. Iskender Nega is a journalist and is also activist, the founder of Balderas. 2. Sintayo Chokol and others included under Iskender Nega court filings are also released. So these are the the major news for today. Credit for this news, Ethiopia Broadcasting Corporation, EBC, and Reuters News Agency. So this is just the tip of an iceberg. So many thousands are still in jail. Nothing said about Oromo Liberation Front members and supporters and all ordinary citizens detained, arbitrarily detained by Abiy Ahmed administration. Thousands, they have no rooms for additional person to put in, no place. Even they are using public buildings and some other illegal prison cells. So thousands and thousands ordinary citizens and politicians are still in jail, and nothing said about Colonel Gemachu Ayana and others, and also about the house arrest of David Ibsa. OLF chairman. So do we celebrate this? Yes, we celebrate it. It's a welcoming news. It's okay. But this is just, as I say, the tip of the iceberg. And this arrest was illegal at the time. And the Prosperity Party, Abiy Ahmed decided to do this so he can secure the election. That's the only thing. No crime at all. No crime. It's not about mercy. No, it is a calculated political decision by Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed and his supporters, so they can win the sham election. So that's the reality, and all the struggle for freedom, justice, equality in Ethiopia should continue. Should continue. We celebrate this what we have, but our celebration must be a temporary one because thousands and thousands of Ethiopians are still suffering under Abiy Ahmed, and the killing didn't stop, and the burning of properties didn't stop, and other atrocities and human rights violations still continue under Abiy Ahmed. And Abiy Ahmed, he's talking about mercy. Okay, it's okay, but your hand is full of blood. You are okay to facilitate the door for dialogue and reconciliation. But please, after you facilitated everything, please set aside yourself and take with you some of your senior advisors, including the military advisors and the military generals who have too much blood in their hand. Criminals, too much. So we appreciate the opening of the door. We appreciate the opening of the willingness for reconciliation and the dialogue in that country, but those criminals should set aside. Possibly, if they face justice, okay. If not, they should be set aside, and for others for other stakeholders to discuss about the country's future. How can we stop this war? How can we end the animosity, the hate against each other, the killing, the property burning? So it's okay, it's encouraging, and we appreciate what we gain, but we have to uh, minimize our celebration, get ready for more resistance until all all ordinary citizens and the politicians are released, until the atrocities end from that country. So that's that is my comment on this release and this celebration. So it is just a tip of the iceberg, and let's continue with other news. Just the others are just video. One is from the United Nations about Ethiopia, about the crisis, humanitarian crisis in Tigray and other areas, and also a couple of other videos I will share with you. Thank you again. Let's listen.
Yeah, the UN High Commissioner for Refugees, Filippo Grandi, said he's deeply saddened by that 3 Eritrean refugees, 2 of them children, were killed on Wednesday in an airstrike that hit the Mai Aini refugee camp in northern Ethiopia. And in the Philippines, the World Food Program is warning that nutrition and food security are at risk in communities hit by the super typhoon Odette 3 weeks ago. Odette has made landfall 9 times over an area the size of Austria over 2 days and affected 7 million people. WFP requires an additional $25.8 million to provide food to 250,000 typhoon survivors, alongside emergency logistics and telecommunication support to the broader typhoon response. So far, it has received $4.7 million. That is unfortunately it for today. And Edie.
Thank you, Steph. A couple of questions. First, Does the Secretary General have any comment on the order by the President of Kazakhstan to shoot to kill people he's calling terrorists who appear to be protesters?
Okay, I have video on that one. So I think there is a question about Ethiopia. So let's see.
Respect human rights and international can ever be legally or morally acceptable. What I'm when it involves no, I understand. I understand. What I'm saying to you is that there is a clear need to respect human rights and international standards when reestablishing public. What I'm saying to you is that yeah, I want to come back on the shoot to kill order specifically because you didn't lethal force in particular,
including a report from the French that 300 Chadians had exited.
Has there been any movement in terms of what's happening in Sudan?
Okay, that's I thought I have, but that's very short one about Ethiopia. Let's see the other videos. Okay, this is about the shoot to kill policy order by Kazakhstan president. This is a very serious crime against protesters, very serious order. So I have very 3 short videos to share with you. Hope you enjoyed. Let's listen.
Reform plan. Right now, it's all tokenism.
Okay.
It's fired the prime.
There we go. I apologize for arrangement. There we go. Okay. There is coming. Oh man. Okay, I have challenge, as I said before, with this technology. Okay, here we go. Sorry. There we go.
Some political giants leave a long shadow, a shadow that remains long after they're gone. One example is the Soviet Union, gone for 30 years and yet influencing modern-day politics. Case in point, the unrest in Kazakhstan. For years, this country was praised for its political stability. The leadership never changed, the people rarely revolted, but beneath this stability was an authoritarian regime. One president ruled Kazakhstan from 1990 to 2019. This man, Nursultan Nazarbayev, when he resigned, his hand-picked successor took over, the current president, Kassym-Jomart Tokayev. So while these pictures from Kazakhstan are rare, they should not be surprising. I could say the same about the Kazakh government's response, ruthless but not surprising. The protesters were demanding basic economic rights, mainly cheaper fuel, but guess how the president responded? He ordered his troops to shoot and kill.
Terrorists continue to damage public and private property and use weapons against citizens. I gave an order to law enforcement agencies and the army to shoot to kill without warning. There have been calls abroad for the parties to move the negotiations to a peaceful resolution of the problems. What nonsense! What kind of negotiations can there be with criminals, with murderers?
No room for interpretation there. The Kazakh president has made 2 things very clear. 1, the protests will be crushed ruthlessly, and 2, there will be no talks, no discussions or parley with the protesters. What about the long run? Does Tokayev have a reform plan? Right now, it's all tokenism. He's fired the prime minister, he's fired the cabinet, he's also set a price cap on fuel. This cap will expire after 6 months. So stopgap measures, but nothing long term, nothing that would make Kazakhstan a more progressive, a more open democracy. What explains the stubbornness? Does the Kazakh president have a trump card? Well, he does. It's called Vladimir Putin. Around 2,500 Russian soldiers have been deployed in Kazakhstan. That is Tokayev's trump card. With Russia's help, the president can put down this unrest. Most Western nations have criticized the Russian intervention, but technically, it was requested by Kazakhstan. You see, both Kazakhstan and Russia are part of a security alliance. It's called CSTO, the Collective Security Treaty Organization, CSTO. Think of it as the NATO of Eurasia. It has 6 members, all of them are former Soviet states. If the US leads NATO, Russia leads the CSTO. Kazakhstan's president gave his quote-unquote special thanks to Vladimir Putin for sending soldiers. So far, this operation has been violent. At least 26 protesters killed, 1,000 wounded, 400 hospitalized, and 60 in intensive care, plus around 2,300 people detained. The government says it's mission accomplished. The streets are mostly peaceful now, and the protesters are starting to withdraw. But this unrest could be the start of something much bigger. Like I said, Kazakhstan was always the stable Soviet successor, so stable that it was often called sleepy. No protests, no leadership squabbles. All of this made it a good place to put your money. And that's what many countries did. In 2020, Kazakhstan got $161 billion in foreign investment, $161 billion, mostly oil and gas. Out of this, $30 billion came from the United States. Needless to say, Russia is not happy. Putin fears that he will lose another former Soviet state to the West. Why do I say another? Because this is exactly what happened in Ukraine. Until 2014, Ukraine was ruled by a pro-Russian president. In 2013, he even rejected greater integration with the European Union. His people revolted. 1 year later, he was removed from office, and everyone knows what happened next. Russia annexed Crimea, and Ukraine continues to be ruled by pro-Western leaders. Something similar almost happened in Belarus. You might remember the protests from last year. Same reason as Kazakhstan, no democracy, no freedom, no economic gains. In Belarus, President Alexander Lukashenko got Vladimir Putin's support, while the West backed his rival, Svetlana Tikhanovskaya. Such fault lines are emerging in most former Soviet states. Their leaders support Russia, but their people want change, and frankly, you can understand why. These people have been ruled by autocrats for nearly 100 years. First under the Soviet Union, and then by dictators like Lukashenko. They have made very little economic progress despite being geographically blessed, centrally located, good energy reserves, but no benefits. Such protests could alter the political landscape of this region. Russia fears Western influence. China is patiently waiting in the wings. And the people desperately want change. As I said at the start, political giants leave a long shadow. You can see this giant Soviet shadow over these republics. Paper democracies where dictators are elected. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.
This is the verdict and the sentencing in Atlanta, Georgia, for the killing of Amadou Arbery. I think this is just in the writing, it looks like. It's not a video. I thought it's a video. Okay. Okay, this is the last one. Very short one. I think it's heavy snow. Is it in Kentucky? This is the last one. All right. So I thought the verdict was on a video, so it's in a picture and a writing, so you can get the information from there. I apologize for misunderstanding. So thank you. That's all I want to share for today. The big thing is the release of our political prisoners, and that is, very encouraging. It's opening the door or facilitating the door for dialogue, reconciliation, and for peace and stability for that country. It might, and the system is there, prosperity party is there, Abiy Ahmed undercover security forces are there, the police is there, the judiciary system is there. As long as it is, all these are under the control of Abiy Ahmed, he can order the rearrest of anybody at any time. So we have to fight against the system. We have to fight for justice, freedom, for the respect of the constitution in that country. If not, he can release you today. He can, he can use his security forces to rearrest you anytime. So this is just, a temporary victory for freedom fighters, for those resisting the injustice in that country. So celebrate it, enjoy it for today, but the big picture, the system is there. We have to continue our resistance against the system until everyone is equal under the law, until Abiy cannot order the police by himself to arrest and cannot order the police to release. The court system must be respected. The constitution must be respected. But it is good news for the families and the supporters of all these political prisoners released today. So that's all I'm going to say for today. Enjoy it, but don't over enjoy it. Get ready for more resistance until the system is changed. Thank you. I will be back with other news and updates. So long, everyone.